Arts Beatniks. It's the KC Arts Beat Report. I'm Patrick Neese. Well, the Kansas City Chiefs may not have made it into the Super Bowl this year, but we're going to be speaking in just a moment with a perennial champion here in Kansas City who makes it to the Super Bowl every year and who is a champion of the arts in Kansas City as well as being one of Kansas City's most beloved performers. But first, I'd like to ask you to please subscribe to the KC Arts Beat YouTube channel and also subscribe to us on Substack and follow us on Facebook. We always provide lots of great information about the arts in Kansas City. But right now it's time to say hello to our good friend Jan Kraybill, who is the organist in residence at Community Christian Church and Village Presbyterian Church on Antioch, as well as the conservator of that magnificent Calcivant organ in Hellsberg Hall. Jan, it's always great to see you.
Well, thank you so much. Thank you for that wonderful introduction. I will try to live up to that.
Well, you always do.
One slight correction. It's Community of Christ
Oh,
headquarters
I'm
in
sorry. What did I
Independence.
say?
Community Christian.
Oh, right. Community of
Which
Christ.
is a wonderful church too. But Community of Christ headquarters is where I'm organist in residence.
Oh, that's in Independence, by the way, with the spiral
Yes.
top, that beautiful
That's
spiral
correct.
top. Yeah, so sorry about that. But anyway, as I mentioned, you have been in the Super Bowl every year now for 27 years. That's quite a record. That beats the heck out of Patrick Mahomes and Travis Kelce.
Well, it might just mean that I'm old. I don't know, but you're right. I've been doing this. This will be my 27th annual Super Bowl Sunday concert. We even kept going during COVID via video. And so, yes, 27 years of doing this.
It was really a stroke of genius to start it at all. Uh, and now, as you celebrate your 27th annual one, again, you have a terrific lineup of music, which I hope you'll give us maybe some of the highlights of. There's one piece towards the end of the concert I'm especially interested in, because it deals with one of my favorite characters of all time. But anyway, the theme this year, you're calling this year's concert Milestones. Why don't
Yes,
you
yeah.
tell us about that?
Yeah, so there are lots of things to celebrate. So for the past several years, I've gotten to open the concert with something played in honor of the Chiefs because they've made the Super Bowl so many years in a row. We got kind of spoiled that way.
Yes.
But they certainly haven't been in the Super Bowl for 27 years. And so before this current run of theirs, I was still doing these concerts. And so I decided this time to celebrate mileposts along the way. So, for instance, the Chiefs didn't make it to the big game, but there were lots of individual and team achievements that we can celebrate with our team. And likewise, in music, there are all sorts of significant events that have happened recently or happened a long time ago that we can celebrate. And so these mileposts are just a few of them. I had a really hard time making a concert that's only 75 minutes long because there are so many mileposts. I could have played for 6 hours.
Uh-huh. Yes. Yeah. By the way, I didn't mention this, and I really should right at the top. The concert's at 2 p.m. on February the 8th at Community of Christ Temple. They have a magnificent Casavant organ too.
Yes, they do. And that wonderful spiral top provides all sorts of acoustic gloriousness. And I should say admission is free and there's plenty of free parking out there. So anybody can come. Also, dress is casual. And for the past several years, we've all worn Chiefs red. You can still do
Uh-huh.
that if you want to. I
Uh-huh.
actually don't know what color I'm wearing yet,
Oh, I see.
but you don't have to dress up if you don't want to. I like to dress up, so I
Uh-huh.
will.
Uh-huh.
But come as you are and just enjoy with me.
And people can get home in time for the Super Bowl on TV.
Yes, yes.
Not that many Kansas Cityans will be as excited about that this year, but
Well, you never know.
you never know. But anyway, yeah, you have a terrific lineup. You always do a great mix of, classics by people like Bach and so forth, but you find these really unusual works. For example, the piece you're starting off the program with.
Yes. So my colleague out at Community of Christ, one of our staff organists there, Pam Robison, Recently won, well, got second place in a competition, a women's composer competition sponsored by the American Guild of Organists. This was a national competition, and so it's quite an honor to receive one of the prizes. And so I'll be opening the concert with a piece called Fanfare and Celebration that was her winning composition. And that just happened about a week ago. And so that awarding of the prize happened about a week ago.
Oh,
And
okay.
so I think that's really cool that it's a composer within our midst.
Yes, and the title seems to indicate a great way to start off, a Super Bowl concert too.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you can't do a concert without some Bach. So, what's that? The Chaconne in D minor. Anything you want to say
Yes.
about that?
So these two chaconnes were recently discovered to have been written by Bach. So
Oh,
their existence
wow.
has been known for about 30 years, but just last November they were authenticated as being by a teenaged Johann Sebastian Bach. So, this is a composer at the very beginning of his career, and they are so refreshing and wonderful, and it's been great to learn them. And I believe that this will be the Midwest premiere. They've
Oh,
been
okay.
played on the East Coast and the West Coast, but I don't believe they've been played anywhere in the Midwest.
How
So this
often
will
you
be a
get to hear a
first.
Bach premiere?
Yes,
I know.
300 years later.
Really, no kidding. Wouldn't he be proud and pleased to know that he has a great champion like you playing a piece of his that hasn't been heard in 300 years? I mean, that's just quite something to think about.
Yeah,
Uh,
and I'm proud and pleased to know that Bach existed and that people between his time and our time preserved some of the music that might have been lost when Bach's music fell out of fashion right after his death and then came back. I'm just so pleased that there is a chain of people who love the music of Bach like I do.
yeah, well, I don't think you're alone. Uh, and Guimond,
Yes.
he's sort of the part of that whole romantic French tradition, isn't he?
Yes, and the piece that I'm playing of his was inspired by the organ at his church. He actually wrote 8 organ sonatas. This is his very first one. And so I'm celebrating the beginning of his time at that church. He was 30 years at Saint Trinité Church in Paris. And this year would celebrate a significant anniversary of that. And then this piece, oh my goodness, it celebrates the achievements of Cavaillé-Coll, a very famous French organ builder and organ designer. And we organists and organ builders have been inspired by his work for decades. And the temple organ at Community of Christ is also influenced by his designs. So it's a perfect place for this piece. And then the milestone also that I'm celebrating is a personal one. I recently turned 65 and I decided, okay, to celebrate that birthday, I'm going to play something that I love. And this piece is something that I love, especially on this organ. So can't wait to play it.
That sounds great. And you're right, that particular French repertoire sounds really wonderful on that Calcivon organ. Now, speaking of anniversaries, you're also going to commemorate the 100th anniversary of the World War One Museum.
Yes, exactly. So our Kansas City National World War One Museum is celebrating its 100th birthday this year. And so I'm playing a piece called To an American Soldier. That piece was composed in 1919. That is the year that the fundraising for the World War One Museum started. And then in 1926 is when it opened. And so it's 100 years old this year.
Wow. Well, that'll be
Yeah.
great. And following that, in the classic piece of Americana by Copeland.
Yes, so the rest of the concert is celebrating the 250th birthday of our country, a very significant thing to celebrate.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I think makes our country wonderful is the diversity that is within it now and has contributed to its history. So this Copeland fanfare for the common man, is something that everybody identifies with the United States and with Copeland. But then moving on from that, not a lot of people know, or maybe not a lot of the general public knows, that Copeland was gay. And the next piece is by a trans composer, and the piece after that is by a woman composer. I just wanted to celebrate all of the arts and the inclusivity of the arts in our country.
Yeah, great. By the way, somebody needs to write a fanfare for the billionaires sometime.
Okay, why don't you take that on?
I'll, I'll start to work on that.
I think fanfare for the common woman would be good too.
Oh, did somebody do that? I thought someone did that.
Oh, I think somebody did. You're right. You're right. I can't remember who.
Name. Yes, but it was
Yeah.
female composer. Yes.
Yep, that's true. I forgot about that.
And then George.
And then I'm also playing a piece by George Shearing, who was an immigrant to our shores, came from Britain, was knighted by the Queen, but also was a citizen of the United States. And I'm doing an iconic hymn, "Amazing Grace," which I think probably is the best known hymn of our country, and certainly has been for hundreds of years, literally hundreds of years, probably all of our history.
Sure. And now the next piece is the one I'm really interested in. Tell us about this.
So this is also the 100th anniversary of Winnie-the-Pooh.
Oh, excellent.
Yeah. So,
very little brain. I can relate with that.
Yeah, the 100-Acre Wood,
Yes.
and all of Pooh's friends, Christopher Robin and Roo and Eeyore.
Oh, yeah, Tigger and the honey pot, all of it. I love it
That's
all.
right. That's right. So the book is 100 years old this year. The movie, of course, is not that old, but the music comes from the Disney movie.
Oh,
That
okay.
was
I was
called
wondering where the
Winnie-the-Pooh
music
and the Honey
came.
Tree.
Okay.
Yeah. And so I am playing the theme song from Winnie-the-Pooh.
Well, that'll be delightful. And boy, he deserves some extra honey on his 100th birthday.
Yeah, he
Yes.
definitely does. He's brought so much joy to so many people. Oh my
Yes.
goodness.
And boy,
He's-
his gentle spirit is so needed in the world today. So
Yes,
I'm
most definitely. There's lots of philosophy within that book that maybe as a kid, well, for me as a kid, I didn't fully understand. I liked the drawings, and I liked that Pooh was cuddly and all of that, and that he was nice.
yes.
But now when I read it, oh my goodness, I see so much life advice and good philosophies of
Well,
how to be a decent person.
yes. Well, there's a great book. You're probably familiar with it, The Tao of Pooh.
Yes, I
Yeah,
love it.
it's just delightful.
Yes.
Um, and then you're going to conclude, as you always do, with a real showstopper. Tell us
Yes,
about
that's
that.
right. So Max Reger, a German composer that actually has been given the title of the best German composer for organ since Johann Sebastian Bach.
Oh, okay.
And he wrote a piece on a tune that he knew as Heil dir in Siegerkranz, which means Hail thee in victory's crown. He wrote it, though, to honor Queen Victoria of England, who had just died. And so he wanted to write a piece that was in her honor. Heil dir in Siegerkranz, the tune of that, is also the tune to God Save the Queen.
Oh, boy,
And so he wrote it for that reason. But people here will realize that it's also the tune to, now I forgot the,
My Country,
My
Tis of
Country,
Thee.
Tis of Thee.
Yes.
Yeah, My Country, Tis of Thee. And as I was researching it, I realized that the tune itself is anonymous. Nobody knows who composed it. And it's been used as the national anthem for countries literally from A to Z. So I remember Z is Zimbabwe. I don't remember the A. Let's see if Australia, it was its tune. So it's, I think, an illustration of that we are all connected. And in this day and age, I think it's important that we all realize that. Music is one of those great connectors. And so I celebrate that. And I celebrate our country because 250 years of democracy is a thing to celebrate. But also, we're not the only country in the world. And so through this piece, I hope that we can find common ground with lots of other people in lots of other places. And so making our world great is, I think, a wonderful goal. So that's my intent with ending the concert in this way.
Well put, and I totally agree with all those sentiments.
Oh, thanks.
Wonderful way to end your concert, Jan. Well, once again, this is Jan Kraybill's 27th annual Super Bowl Sunday organ concert called Mileposts. It's at 2 p.m. February 8th at Community of Christ Temple. What's the address there? Do you know that off the top of your head?
Yes, it's 201 South River Boulevard in Independence, Missouri. And if you need driving directions or if you want to see in writing the details of this concert, it's all available on the calendar tab on my website, which is jankraybill.com.
And that's a good website to visit to keep track of all of your many activities because you're always putting on great organ recitals hither and yon. So it's
Well, I
great.
enjoy performing and I enjoy traveling, so I'm so fortunate that those two are involved in my career. It's to such a great extent.
And we're fortunate to have that your home base is right here in Kansas City too. So we get to hear you quite frequently, and we love it very much. So
Well, thank you.
anyway, Jan, thank you very much for taking the time to talk with us today about your
And
concert.
thank you, Patrick, for all that you do to encourage all of us in the arts. And everybody, please join me in subscribing to the YouTube channel and following KC Arts Beat on Facebook because it's a great, great resource. And Patrick, I'm so grateful to you for decades of friendship and encouragement.
Thank you so much, Jan. And I'll look forward to Super Bowl 28.
Me too.
This has been the KC Arts Beat Report. Again, subscribe to us, as Jan just said. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, subscribe to us on Substack, and follow us on Facebook. Until next time, and even beyond, I'm Patrick Neese.